Hello and welcome to Musical Lyrical Lingo. We're your hosts, Tim
and LJ today, and every week we will be discussing musicals, but specifically what they taught us.
Are you ready?
Because every time you're like, hold on a wee minute, hold on a wee minute, hold on a wee minute, hold on a wee minute.
An artiste has to prepare.
I know. You're still chewing that nut though that we
I
had
am.
to wait for.
But what the listeners didn't hear was we did start hitting the record button and all we could hear was the crunching noises and we were like, okay, maybe we're not gonna
We're gonna have to start again.
We're gonna have to start again, yeah. And then, are you ready?
Right.
Yes.
Do you know what? I'm
dear.
gonna ask you again if you're ready, and then we'll just go into it, and you'll be like, "You didn't ask me if we were ready."
And then I'll make up the intro, and it'll be a whole big drama. I understand. I'm very difficult to work with.
Yes, you are. No, you're not.
She says through gritted teeth.
I love this.
Me too. Horrible.
I'm okay. I was drinking my coffee there.
Yeah, don't drink your coffee either. We can hear that as well.
Yeah, I'm fine here. All very theatery because did you watch the Olivier's?
I did actually. Now, just before we get on to that note, I did need to apologise to our viewers who watched those the clips of us on YouTube. Do check us out on YouTube on our YouTube channel. But I'm a very tired boy today, and I don't feel my appearance is up to its normal high standard. I look like I've been dragged through a hedge backwards.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
The hair's not great, so if we could do something about it.
Okay, I put some filters on.
Like a wee filter, like a wee top hat or something. Just something to hide,
Okay.
gloss over the fact that I look.
I'll see what AI can do.
AI, that scares the life out of me. Anyway, on to the Oliviers. Yes, so at the time of recording, the Oliviers were on.
Yeah.
What is this? This is Thursday. We're recording, so they happened on Sunday.
Yeah.
Past.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts, Lauren? Thoughts?
Well, I thought it was better this year than last year's. I had a real issue with last year's.
Why? What was
Some of the performances last year I just didn't like.
I can't even remember who performed last year, to be fair. Oh, don't you start. Don't you start. Honestly. I give up.
They did wait for me for Hadestown, so that's what I had complained about at the night of the
did.
musicals.
You did.
Yes, it was fine.
So maybe just more fine-tuned and rehearsed.
Yeah.
Because I think they were early in rehearsals when
so.
The night of the musicals was broadcast, wasn't it? They're now open and they're fair enough. But do you still question it as the number that they used to showcase the show? Because you had an issue with that the last time.
No, because they didn't do it for me the last time.
But they did. No, but what they did on Sunday night, they had done the thingy. The other one.
That's right. No, I know. I'm all wrong there. No, I just felt it was better. Thought it was better than Night of the Musicals. I love Next to Normal. I thought that was really good, and I thought maybe was there like mic issues because of the fact that he had come out with a mic,
or was that like a creative thing because it's a bit rocky, isn't it? And it's all he's all in her head,
yeah.
Which I totally didn't get until recently because I've never actually seen the show.
Love it.
I love the soundtrack, and I didn't quite get that he wasn't actually. He's phenomenal. That guy.
That voice.
Yeah, we should really be name checking all these people, but we haven't prepared there.
I did like the performance of Operation Mincemeat.
I really want to see that. So
me too.
Operation Mincemeat won
Best Musical, Best Support.
Yeah, but
Best Supporting Actor, didn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And it was off West End for a while, wasn't it? And now it's in the Fortune Theatre.
Well, it started in the Fringe. It started in Edinburgh Fringe. So actually, in their acceptance speech, they were like, up the Fringe, because it still has a very important.
Absolutely.
And actually, there's a two-woman show that's opening in the West End, which started off in the Fringe about
by podcast.
Yes, crime solving podcast.
Yes. Yeah.
Apparently it is amazing.
Yeah.
Some of my friends saw it when it was in Edinburgh and they were like, no, but literally it's one of the best things I've ever seen.
The Fringe is a powerful arts centre
Yeah.
Well, it's not a centre, but you know what I mean. It's a hub of wonderful talent.
Yeah.
Because you're six.
I was about to say, yeah.
Fleabag.
Fleabag. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the name of this that musical to do with the.
I think it's like Sadie and Joe, but they're not the right names. But I think it's like two names, like.
Yeah, maybe.
Podcast.
Anything else you enjoyed about it?
Let me see what other performances there were. Strange Loop. I still find it strange.
I think it's definitely one you need to see, isn't it?
Yeah, because I've listened to songs and I don't know if I'm getting it.
I wasn't completely hooked, to be honest, from having listened to the soundtrack.
Okay, so that was okay. And what did you think of Take Back Your Mink?
I liked her.
Okay, I liked her, but I didn't love the performance
because it was taken out of context. It was, and for that to Guys and Dolls being the immersive experience that it is, and it's choreographed to sit that. I mean, it won best choreography, which I was delighted about. I also my mind was blown when I just realised that Arlene Phillips
has
been in the business for years and is 80 years old, and that was the first Olivier she got for her choreography. Like that, she has done so many big shows in her career, like Starlight Express, loads.
Which currently, Guys and Dolls and Grease. That's what she's doing at the minute.
And so that amazed me. But I understand what you're saying. It wasn't as.
It was a wee bit flat. I think. I thought she was great, but I just was like, okay.
Yeah, and also they camera wise, not that I'm blaming the cameras for the flat performance. They pulled away just as she did her final costume change.
I know. I noticed that.
And I was like, that's ridiculous. Why did they pull away from her at that moment? It's so bizarre. Yeah, fair. I mean, I loved Sunset Boulevard number and how they shot that.
But then I was obsessed with that whenever it was on in the Savoy. I was watching on TikTok every night that he was doing that show or that song, and it was really fun to watch it from whenever it first opened, when people didn't realise he actually left the theatre, went outside and came back in again, and then by the final performance it was just crowds and crowds and crowds of people.
Yeah, so for anybody who doesn't know, the Sunset Boulevard number in that recent revival in the West End, the character of Joe sang the song out on the street. So he was out on the Strand, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And a camera followed him along the Strand and then finally in through the theatre onto stage. And then on Sunday night they kind of did the same thing. They started with him outside of the Royal Albert Hall and followed him into the Albert Hall, and they ended on stage. So was that when it was in the Savoy, was that put on their TikTok every night?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Or people would have filmed him doing it
and put it on theirs. Interesting. Okay. Really clever. I mean, I was a bit gutted for Guys and Dolls just because I saw Guys and Dolls and I loved it, that they lost out on a lot of their nomination, their nominees winning because Sunset Boulevard wiped the floor. I think they walked away with 7, didn't they? Including Best Revival, Best Director, Best Actress, Actor,
costume.
I thought
lighting.
I thought her acceptance speech was hilariously awful. Let's hope her acting was better in the musical than it was for her acceptance.
Do you not just think she was a wee bit emotional?
If that's what an emotional person looks like, I'm not so sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she was trying a wee bit too hard to be a bit too emotional.
Okay, do you think that she was acting like she wasn't expecting it?
Yeah, come on, let's be honest. We were all walking in knowing who was walking away with Best Actress in a Musical, didn't we?
Yeah, true.
But I enjoyed it. I like that it is on not primetime TV, because it's not. It's like starts at
it was like 10:45.
I know.
I had all these wonderful plans. I'm gonna stay up and watch it, and I was like, no, I'm not. So I just
not
watched
when
it
you've worked the next day. I did actually watch it, but like
live.
it was
not live,
no.
but...
So they do this is also another wee bone of contention I have. It's a highlight show that they show, certainly in UK television. My issue is it's the UK Premier Theatre Awards, and we get a highlight show, whereas you were able apparently to watch the full ceremony in different countries like Australia and the US. Yeah, I saw somebody giving off on Twitter actually about it, and I was like, they have a very valid point.
Absolutely,
why are the the London Theatre Awards not live in its entirety? On our TV,
that's true. Yeah, I didn't realise other people.
Do you know what I mean?
Were able to see it.
Yeah, so I mean, great to see something. When you think about how much musical theatre's on TV now compared to when we were kids, like it is nice, isn't it? Makes you smile. I'm sure Aaron's watching them anyway.
Oh, do you know, actually, he was a wee bit gutted that I watched it without him, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, he's changed.
Oh, no, he has.
What's that out of? That's out of Beauty and the Beast, isn't it? That song changed. There's definitely a song called Changed.
Okay.
It'll come to me mid-episode and I'll start singing it.
Oh, the one the Beast sings?
No, that's If I Loved You or something.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay, now I have no idea what you're talking about.
If I Can't Love You is the song that he sings.
Oh, could you hear knowledge?
There's they do, and they sing about how the Beast has changed. But he was cruel and
a change in me.
A change in me. There you go. I knew it. Anyway.
But I don't think that's what that song was that you were singing.
Maybe I've taken two songs and glued them together. All right, Lauren. Like I've told you, I'm a wee bit tired tonight. Okay. And I might be talking nonsense more than I normally would. Okay. Sure, you'll pull me on it, like.
I don't do that. Okay.
Sure you don't, for sure. It's funny you should mention one of my favourite musicals in the whole wide world, Oklahoma. I won't go there, but we are kind of doing another wee one out of the kind of same category.
We are?
We've kind of left that wee category of westerns and slap your thigh musicals for a while, haven't we?
Yeah, well the last one was Calamity, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Don't remind me.
So really there's this, and then there's only really one more?
And I Get Your Gun's the only one we haven't really done.
Oh, and I was
Oh, you weren't thinking about that, were you?
Because I would sort of put Brigadoon.
Oh, jeez, we're not doing Brigadoon anytime soon, let me tell you. The Sound of Music was bad enough.
We're probably talking about Brigadoon.
Oh, no, I have a wee note about Brigadoon too, which makes me, boils my pee. Anyway, got me so worked up. We never heard that.
Boils my pee.
Well, you don't normally say pee, you say the other word, but we're being very polite in the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so we're not doing Brigadoon and we're not doing Annie Get Your Gun.
We're doing the other one.
What, the other one, the last one, can you guess what it is? Do you want to give us a clue? Saying we haven't done it for a long time. No, don't bother, just tell
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 brides or 7 brothers.
5, 6, 7, 8.
I know, but it didn't work.
No, I know. You kind of gave everybody their equal value. Yeah, 7 brides for 7 brothers.
I love 7 brides for 7 brothers.
Me too, yeah. I know I do. I genuinely do. Like I would say after Oklahoma we'd be up there within it. I think 7 brides for 7 brothers is definitely in my top 3, like western-y musical.
There's only 5.
I know, so if you make it into the top 3 you've done well. I can tell you what one's not in my top 3. Calamity.
Okay. Yeah, interesting.
So, do you want to do who wrote it and who? Because honestly, there was far too many names for. I was like, you get lost. You'll get lost in this, folks. Here we go.
Right. So it is a musical with book by Lawrence Kasha and David Landé, music by Jean DePaul, Al Kasha, and Joel Horn.
Brilliant name.
Yeah. They were known for doing Pete's Dragon.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Lyrics were by Johnny Mercer, who wrote famous hits like Hooray for Hollywood.
Takes me back to our Hollywood
Days
routine.
of Wine and Roses, and the wee song that reminds me of you, Moon River.
Sorry,
have
what?
I shared that story on the podcast?
I don't know if you have.
I feel like I have, but maybe I haven't.
Why on earth? Do I want to know this story first of all before you?
This was back in the day when people used to make compilation CDs.
Oh no, have we talked about this just together?
Oh, maybe it is.
Off air.
Yeah, maybe it is. So
if not, you're going to hear this story again, and we do apologise.
So for one of my birthdays,
but
a couple of
55 episodes in, we forget what we talked about.
One of my birthdays, a couple of friends got together and made me a compilation CD, and everybody chose either a song that they thought reminded them of me or a song that I really liked to put it together. So I was like, this is a great album, but can I just ask about number 2? It's like it's like an instrumental version of Moon River. And one of our friends said, yeah, Timothy picked that. And I was like, but why? Like, it's a lovely song, but we have no connection. Like, there's nothing. It's not like we sang this song together and you just had a brain fart and just picked a song.
When
Do
I
you
look
not like
at
that song?
you just remind me of the moon.
Oh, that is so...
I think I did make a mistake in that I clearly chose an instrumental track of it rather than the actual track. Maybe you just remind me of Audrey Hepburn or something. Oh, here I am really buttering you up.
I know, like, and I can't even believe that.
Do the lyrics again. So Johnny Mercer, and he sounds like a DJ, like a radio DJ. Now tune into Johnny Mercer Show.
Well, I just have Johnny Mercer with the lyrics.
Oh, I've got Al Kasha and Joel Hirschhorn.
Oh, yeah, sorry, they did the music and lyrics.
Yeah. I mean, 7 Brides for 7 Brothers. It feels like there's 7 creatives that working on this.
Yeah, but Al Kasha and Joel Hirschhorn, so they did music, did lyrics, but they were like a partnership.
Aye, okay.
So they just did loads of stuff together.
Very good. The Oscar.
Yes.
To the Oscar Hammerstein, Richard Rogers, yeah. Oscar Hammerstein to the Rogers. For fuck's sake.
But sorry, I thought you meant because they won an Oscar for Pete's Dragon. So
oh, did they?
That's what you were talking about.
Yes, that's exactly what I meant, for sure. Based on the 1954 Stanley Donen film of the same name, which is itself an adaptation of the short story The Sobbing Women by Stephen Vincent Benet, based on an ancient Roman legend of the rape of the Sabine women.
Oh, I would have said Sabine.
Sabine women, that's probably right.
No, it's probably not because it's me.
Aaron, Sabine or Sabine?
Spell
Sabine.
But did you know that...
I mean, I'm looking, is it Savine?
Oh.
Well, now we're really...
Oh.
Well, it was a 8th century Roman legend.
Yeah, it's sometimes known as the abduction of Sabine or Sabine women, or the kidnapping, not always the rape. That's
right.
So.
And the word rape in Portuguese, just for anybody who's going, oh gosh, that sounds pretty dire. I mean, it is dire, but it's not as dire as we think. The word rape in Portuguese and other Romani languages means kidnap. So it's not what we think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a Romani legend.
Oh, he was right.
Me?
Why is he so clever?
Me?
No, not you.
Oh, why do you say, not me? Did you hear the scorn she did? No, because you couldn't possibly be clever. What is it then? Savine.
Oh.
Savine. Okay, Google, shut up. So this legend, right, was an incident in the legendary history of Rome in which men of Rome committed a mass abduction of young women from other cities in the region, and it has been a frequent subject for painters and sculptors through history, particularly since the Renaissance period.
Yeah, but it was said that they actually abducted way more than 7. It's possibly about 30.
Oh, wowzer. And let's just write a wee musical about it,
yeah. Go back to Stanley Donen.
Do I have to?
Well, I'm just saying.
Sorry, Stanley, sorry.
He was famous for On the Town, Singing in the Rain, and Royal Wedding. So,
there's a few wee hits in there.
There are a few wee hits in there.
Well
yes.
done, Stanley.
So this was a very popular film.
And Stanley knew what he was doing, because
that's what I was going to say.
It is very good. Yeah. So it was a film before it became a musical. And it was a critical and box office success, something that might have come as a bit of a surprise to the MGM producers.
And why would that have been?
Well, you tell me, because it's your favourite Western show that you think's a Western. I'm not so sure Brigadoon's a Western.
I didn't say it was my favourite. I just said it's another one that we haven't done. They felt that Brigadoon was going to bring them lots of money. So what they ended up doing was sort of taking money allocated towards Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. So the budget ended up only being, was it like 25 or something, and 25,000 million, 25,000. I can't read my writing.
Honestly, the fact checking for this episode is already outstanding.
And it ended up Brigadoon was crap.
Yeah, I know, it didn't work for them. Crap. Yeah, so Brigadoon received some of the intended Seven Brides for Seven Brothers budget, and then Brigadoon flopped and Seven Brides for Seven Brothers soared.
And some of the things that they compromised on was they weren't allowed to shoot on location.
Location.
They had to shoot in front of cardboard screens.
That's a disgrace.
Yeah, and that's why Stanley wouldn't watch it for so long, because he felt so hurt by MGM, because he felt he could have made it
even better
if he had have been allowed to shoot on location for a number of the scenes. And actually, when I did rewatch it recently.
Can you see?
It is.
Can you?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
But whenever I was younger, I definitely wouldn't have noticed that. But no, I was like, oh yeah, that's clearly on a soundstage.
Yeah. Well, the musical follows the fortunes of 7 Pontypridd brothers, all hacking out a living together in the Oregon mountains. The eldest brother, Adam, seeks a wife, shocking people with his cavalier approach to marriage. He lands on Millie, lovely Millie, a hard-working beauty, sassy as can be, as the show says. Chaos ensues with the remaining 6 brothers kidnapping their chosen brides in the hope that love will grow. So that's where it kind of links in with that Romani legend. To modern sensibilities, the kidnap of 6 young women is no laughing matter, but the film makes it quite clear, actually, that no women are actually coerced into love. In fact, Millie, as the female lead, does her best to prevent that.
Yeah.
Which makes it not sound as harsh as it does on paper.
It
does sound awful on paper.
It really does.
As the girls get to know the brothers better, love does flourish. Oh, I do love it.
I know, I do like it.
It also was a new format of film for MGM, because Seven Brides for Seven Brothers was filmed in a new widescreen cinemascope.
That's right.
Yeah. And it used bright new colour techniques as well, which is really cool.
Yeah, and you notice that in the Wonderful Wonderful Day.
Yeah.
And that's why she's in amongst flowers to
bring the colour
out.
The
colour of the dress, the colour of the flowers.
It was one of the earliest films to adapt this new widescreen format, which allowed the audience to see all of the dancers at once. So the barn dance sections were particularly important with this, and I agree. I think it's the best part of the film and the musical, actually. So that in the barn dance, all 6 girls switch from dancing with the 6 townsmen or suitors to the 6 Pontypridd brothers. Interestingly, Adam didn't have to dance.
No, he didn't.
Because Adam couldn't dance, so they wrote
a couple of them couldn't dance, actually.
Interesting. So yeah, that widescreen allowed you to not only watch the dancing, but also the expressions on the faces of each of the set of rejected suitors or brothers, as the girls continually switched in that barn dance between the townsfolk to the brothers and back and forward. And this level of visual detail combined with the elegant balletic couple dances, and the men actually competing using traditional like lumberjack activities, such as running on the logs and things like that, made it was a stroke of genius choreography wise and cinematography wise.
Yeah.
It made the barn dance, as we've said, kind of a standout moment in it.
And it's kind of famous in its own right, the barn dance.
Well,
people would know that.
Yeah, I think it's probably what 7 Pints for Seven Brothers is known best for. And actually, as a show on the amateur circuit or in the touring circuit, you don't see it very often. Certainly within the amateur circuit, it is quite difficult to get.
Well, was that technically 14?
Near enough 14 men that can dance to that.
Yeah.
The level required. Yeah.
So
and it's a lot of contracts for a professional company, isn't it?
Well, speaking of what you've just said there, it did open in Broadway in 1982 after a cancelled tour. Then it was on. Then it did do a tour in 78 to 79, but then it closed in Broadway after 3 days.
Yeah, that's right.
3 days. West End then took a crack at it in 1985, but it only had a 6-week run.
Yeah.
Then we had Madrid in 2003. There was a revival in 2006, and then a US tour in 2007, a UK tour 2008, 2013, 2014, and then another national tour and West End revival in 2015. But they mainly make their money now on Amdram successes.
But Amdrams don't do it. Like within Ireland, Northern Ireland and Ireland, like I could probably count on one hand the number of companies that have given it a go. Interesting you mentioned about how it started off as a tour. It actually had Howard Keel and Jane Powell, the two leading, the Millie and the Adam from the film, reprising their leading roles in the tour. However,
but look at the time frame from the
ridiculous.
Film to then.
Yeah.
Like that's a good 20 years.
Yeah, 24 years earlier the film was. Yeah, I know, exactly. And they weren't spring, certainly I don't think he was a spring chicken when he was in the film.
No.
But reports from the road suggested that Keel and Powell were both saying that unless the useless director and producer and script co-author Larry Kasha withdrew from the production, it would never come into New York to play Broadway. And the squabbling between the stars and the producers attributed to the folding of that show.
Oh, yeah, that's really
interesting. So that's why it wasn't a very long run.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even when it went into Broadway, the show did not impress Broadway critics, with a particularly scathing New York Times critique by Frank Rich being blamed for the show's closure after 5 performances.
See, this is where we've had this conversation before. Critics would have had massive amounts of power in order to keep a show or close it.
But fair dues to the company. What did they do? They went and picketed outside the New York Times building.
Good on them.
So they protested outside the New York Times building, where a group of some 20 cast members and fans of the show held picket signs and chanted demanding Rich retract his show, his critique. Yeah. I mean, it didn't make any difference.
No, it didn't,
but I
well,
thought
fair.
Good for them.
Yeah, perfect.
It did receive a Tony nom for Best Original Score, I suppose, if you're looking to take the positives out of that venture for them. But yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Like how, a show that is so well loved.
Yeah, the film is so well loved.
That actually its early days as a musical weren't all that rosy.
Which is odd, isn't it?
The Barnyard
because
was
it's not like they changed the story or changed any songs.
And the musical and the film are pretty close to each other. Do you know what I mean? But the Barnyard door kept well and truly locked for sure for a while.
Oh dear.
Do you have any more background information?
Nope, I am all out of info.
All right. Will we move on to some musical lyrical lingos then?
Yeah.
All right. What did you learn?
Well, I learned that the best way to name your children, if you've got 7 of them, is to give them alphabetical names.
That's very true. Do you remember?
I have them written down.
Do you? Oh, well done, because I couldn't tell you.
Adam, Benjamin, Caleb, Daniel. We have, which I'm pretty sure they just say Ethan, but it's Ephraim.
Ephraim. And they say Ephraim.
Well, I hear it as Ethan. Frank and Gideon, and I'm pretty sure there's no Frank in the Bible, but technically there is a Frank in the New Testament. So
because they were all biblical names as well, weren't they?
Oh my goodness, how weird is that?
Literally, I'm researching.
EP Aaron is doing family tree.
Because that's part of our podcast. We look into the family tree of musical families. So he's sitting here on his family tree, and tell the story, Aaron. He hasn't been very well, by the way.
As Lauren speaks there and says, "I think it's Ethan," which it's clearly not, and spells out the name Ephraim. It's exactly the name I'm researching in the family as an ancestor, just by sheer chance.
So how weird is that?
So you have an Ephraim in your family tree?
Yeah, 2 there, yeah. Born in 1849.
And this is set in 1850. Maybe it's your Ephraim.
Yeah, you would have been one raising a barn with 6 other lads that he wasn't actually related to. Abducting, or whatever term we use in those days.
Subbing
I'm
women.
I'm going to say no.
Well, it's still a possibility.
Just when I think I say something really daft, you go and I love you. That's why I love you. You make me look better sometimes.
I'm going to take it as a compliment.
You take it. Well done, Aaron. Go back to doing something very valuable for the podcast there. Thank you. Honestly.
So there's
we couldn't get better, could we?
No. There's
couldn't.
There is no Frank name in the Old Testament. So the mother called him Frank after frankincense.
Oh, fair enough. Well, I mean, if you're stuck on a F, that's the closest.
Hello?
That's a close fit, like.
It is a close fit.
Now, I have one issue with this show.
What?
The first number.
Bless your beautiful heart.
Okay.
I think you throw it in the bin.
Oh, so this is a bit like your other song that you don't like, Howard Kale in Calamity Jane.
I think maybe I just don't like Howard Kale. I think I might have an issue with him.
Oh,
I'm
really?
so sorry, Howard. Yeah, do you know what? That's a good point. I never thought of it. Maybe it's the voice I don't like rather than the song.
I love Howard Kale because one of my favourite musicals of all time, and I'd actually really quite like to see it because it's coming to London in the Barbican, Kiss Me Kate.
I like Kiss Me Kate too.
And he's awesome in Kiss Me Kate.
Okay.
In the
yeah,
movie.
fair enough. And I think I've definitely seen him in Kiss Me Kate.
Yeah.
It didn't annoy me. Yeah.
But maybe you just don't like him in westerns.
Yeah, I don't like that song.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, can we just cut to it bores the pants off me.
It's an odd one for the very first song.
I mean, I think it's setting his character up, isn't it? And the type of chauvinist kind of like Piggy is. But interestingly, the hide, I didn't know that the hide is like a skin, like an animal skin.
Well, yes.
In the context of the song, I mean, Adam is comparing young women's appearance to a flawless hide. I'd slap him, I swear to God. You see, if he compared my appearance to the skin of an animal.
Yeah. I mean,
there wouldn't be a second.
I always knew your hide.
I thought it was your backside.
But yes, that's what I was going to say. So I have, bless your beautiful hide. Is it a girl? Is it a skin? Is it a bum?
There you go. All three, maybe.
Do
you learn anything else from that song?
I've written down cross-eyed, but I'm not sure.
Well done you, because I stopped after the first verse. Cross-eyed? You didn't know what cross-eyed was?
No, I do
know. Do you want me to show you? Here.
Don't do that.
It's like this.
No, I'm not sure why I've written down cross-eyed. I'm not sure, but it's fine. It says, "Oh, I'd swap my gun and I'd swap my mule." Do you know what a mule is?
As we know, I'm a really good animal impersonator. If you've listened to the Cats episode, I've actually got my leotard on today. find it.
Well, do you know what a mule is?
Is it not a donkey?
It's not. It's when a horse and a donkey have a baby. But
Surely that's wrong on all fronts.
they can't have children.
No, because that would be like
Yeah.
surely that's not okay. Per mule.
Well, that's what a mule is. It's a donkey and a horse.
I mean per donkey.
Yeah.
Per donkey.
So yeah.
You spot that donkey walking around the field, that's for sure. Oh, here he comes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, Aaron.
Just to confirm what Lauren was saying there, it is a horse and a donkey having a baby and it's a mule, but it's because it's interspecies breeding that it doesn't create a new species. And it's because the donkey the mule in itself isn't a new species, it can't breed, it's sterile.
Okay.
So,
but still, that donkey would have a
Sore
right, okay, go on
have you
then.
ever heard of like a liger? Have you heard of these? A tiger and a lion?
Ooh.
Or a tigon is the other way around. It depends whether or not it was the male that carried the baby. It depends whether or not it was the tiger that carried the baby or the lion that carried the baby, you know, in which way it's done. But
Here, this is a whole different podcast. We're going down the science route now.
lagers are massive. Class looking.
Oh. Not
Mules
so
aren't.
class as a mule.
Mules
Jeez.
are pretty crap.
And I guarantee you, if there was a mule in a show, I'd be sitting on its backside. Because that's where they always place me. Anyway, shall we move on to some courting?
Yeah. Oh well, I have a
you
wonderful,
have one?
wonderful day.
What's up?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Wonderful day.
It says Millie think is he a drifter?
Drifting around the place.
Yeah, just that word.
I just like
Move from place to place. I know we've
like the
mentioned it a few
wind
times,
floats in
but
and floats out again.
yeah.
Aye, because he would have presented himself like that, right?
Well, sure, he only came down. That's why he says you have to marry me now because it'll be another 6 months before I'm down.
I mean, he'd have got a slap on both cheeks.
Really? I
I'm
mean,
told,
sometimes whenever you know, you just know. There's no point waiting around.
Treat him mean, keep him clean.
No,
Is that what you're saying?
no, because he was like, I think you'll be.
Lauren's best hard kale impression. Here we go. Go on, finish your impression there. Say what you want to say.
I think you've been the best woman for me.
Mm-hmm. Slap.
Okay.
I'm gonna go courting.
Okay.
Going courting. Going courting. I didn't really know what a courting was. Courtship. Amorous advances, flirting basically.
Absolutely.
A wee date.
Yeah.
Didn't go into
We're
many
just
dates,
courting.
you see, that's the thing. I just didn't court.
And
so maybe that's why I didn't know what it was.
But also, it's like it is an older thing. We're just courting.
True that. However, I maybe should have listened more to this song because you get some wild good tips.
Oh gosh, she's great. And this
Really
is
good.
as well. A lot of people think it's just, Adam decides to tell the boys about the story of the rape of Savine. But but Millie was okay. She was trying to give them tips on how to be gentlemanly, but she was giving them tips on how to get women.
Yeah,
I know they go in
the right way.
Yes.
Not going
I
and
just
abducting
mean-
them. Yeah. Well, I learned
She
that
was saying this is what you got to do.
what she says. Be sure the parlour lights are low. So listen up,
Mhm.
folks. If you're single and looking to mingle, listen up. Here are the tips.
Here are the
tips to
tips.
courtship. So be sure that the parlour light is low. Sidle up and squeeze their hand. Roll. This one was a bit bizarre. She says, roll your eyes and heave a little sigh. Oh, you just did it. Wow. Maybe this one is it. What I'm talking about, grunt and groan like you're about to die.
Oh.
And apparently that's what's known as emoting. Random. Daniel then asks, how about sparking?
Yeah, what's sparking?
So sparking is to cause or start something, especially like an argument or a fight.
Oh.
So is that why you spark, Aaron? Like
No, that's called sparring.
sparring, you're right. I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover. Lover, not a fighter.
Cuddler.
Cuddler, I love a cuddle. Going dancing at a fancy ball or minuet.
Yes.
That came up, minuet. Social dance of French origin for two people, usually in 3/4 time. Do you know what that means?
No.
Oh, 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1. Aren't I clever?
You're very clever. We've done this before.
And then Millie sings, "Uh-oh, yes, it came direct from Paris, France," so that just confirms it.
Yeah.
Just in case, you know, you're questioning where the minuet came from. Right?
Yeah. Within that, I learned about dudding up to go and see your gal.
Yeah.
So dudding just means getting dressed up, but in an elaborate way.
Okay, so what are we doing? Well,
we're
that's
making
elaborate?
an effort. We're doing top hat and tails,
Nice.
aren't we?
I mean,
Are we
it's what I wear at the weekends, to be quite honest with you.
under? Then you've got your leotard.
Underneath.
Then you've got your gold lame pants.
That's for the after show.
You're just layered upon layers.
It's like Marisha in her Take Back Your Mink performance.
Yeah.
She whips off a layer of clothes, you think that's a grand finale, and then she goes and does it again.
She does it again.
Just the TV cameras didn't catch the last
No,
one.
that was really good.
Right.
Then she says but this is different to how I knew it, so I had to like reread it. You hem and haw a little while, but we would say you would hem and ha.
Yeah, that's true. It's a southern bit, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I think that's this. Just wait a moment. But yeah, hem and haw. Hem and haw a little while. But and ha.
I'm not so sure. I think some of those tips are a bit questionable, aren't they?
Oh, sure. It was 1850s.
True that. Do we talk about sobbing women then?
Yeah. Well,
So-
that's another thing that I learned. I
Yeah.
didn't know a huge amount about, the ancient Roman legend, and actually didn't really realise that Adam tells the story to the brothers.
Yeah.
I kind of thought he was just talking. I didn't realise he was sharing the tale.
Well, this was a revelation for me, Lauren, when I researched this for this episode, because I have done
You
7 Brides for 7
been in
Brothers,
it.
right?
Being a
And
brother.
I just always thought Sobbing Women was the most bizarre number
Oh, you didn't
in
get
the
it?
show. I had no idea that 7 Brides for 7 Brothers was actually based upon this legend. And as you've just said, Sobbing Women just basically tells the story of that legend. Do you know what I mean? So if you didn't know that, you would understand why I thought that was just a bit random.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You know, plunked in the middle of a musical. And I'm like, well, why is he singing about these Roman
But then it also
men?
does make sense as to why the men just go and lift the women, because if you didn't get that section, you would think, gosh, they're bad boys.
Well, if it worked for the Romans, like, you'll give it a go, won't you?
Absolutely.
Like?
And I mean, this was 1850, so
Yeah,
I didn't know very much.
that's very true. Within the lyrics of that song, it says, "So they took them all back home to dry." At least that's what the Plutarch says.
Yeah, that's what I have.
And Plutarch was a Greek biographer or philosopher.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of name checking from the history books.
That's it.
Yeah. They never did return their plunder.
Mm-hmm.
That word plunder I thought was very interesting. Pillage or stolen goods. So the stolen girls
plunder.
are their plunder. They carried them home by thunder to rotundas small but cute.
Yeah, so I always know that expression, rotund, is like round and fat.
Well done. So a rotunda is any roofed building with a circular ground plan, sometimes covered by a tomb. So the Pantheon in Rome is perhaps one of the most famous and most influential rotundas. And I've been there.
Have you?
Oh my goodness.
Capitol building in America, is that got a rotunda?
Yes.
That's where they took JFK every day and put his body in memorial.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. The more you know.
But the Pantheon's nicer.
Well, I'm sure it is.
It's beautiful. Take me
Lovely.
back to Italy. Right now.
I had Fit to be Tied, not that I...
You're fit to be tied?
I just know that that's very angry, but then I went down one of my rabbit holes. Where does that expression come from?
Is that not just what you say at the end of every episode, having worked with me
I'm
for an hour?
fit to be
Fit to be
tied.
tied.
Yeah. So this expression first appeared in early 1800s, tying up uncontrollable patients, and it refers to straitjackets.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Okay, that's a really cool fact. Well done, you going down your rabbit hole.
Thanks. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. I think probably. Are you done? Is that
Yeah,
you
that's
done
on
with
my
musical
EM.
lyrical linguist? Like, I think what made this the success it was is it fair to say it was probably it was the dancing and the choreography?
100%. It 100%.
So Michael Kidd's choreography was what really shone. And at his insistence, almost all of the leads were professionally trained dancers, except for, as you've said, 3 out of the 7 brothers. I think I just love the dancing in this show.
The dance is good. So if we look at the 3 that weren't trained, it was Adam, who was Howard Keel, he's not a dancer, and then Benjamin, I'm pretty sure it was Benjamin, was a baseball player.
Okay.
So he only is, I think he was placed at the back whenever it was partner work, and then he's not in anything else. The other non-dancer was Russ Tamblyn, and Russ Tamblyn is actually the last brother who is alive, and he played Gideon.
The young boy.
The youngest, and he actually has a book out soon. Just talking about his time, because he's also in West Side Story.
Okay. Makes sense.
Riff? No.
I don't know. I haven't done West Side Story yet.
He's in that, but he has a famous daughter. So that's kind of how I follow her. But yeah, he is a acrobat, or he was an acrobat, and that's why. So choreographer came to him and said, "Hey, you can dance," and he says, "I can't. I can tumble." And he goes, "It's the same thing. It's in rhythm. You'll be able to do it." And then he's great in it. And he actually, not long after that, then did a film called Tom Pom, where he dances loads in it.
Nice.
And I used to love that movie when I was younger too. But yeah, sorry.
No, I was like, we can't do this episode being choreographer and not mentioning the choreography. Also, I think the beautiful costumes were also really beautiful, and that they were the work of Walter Plunkett, who, as you've mentioned, some of the other creatives were involved in some of these shows, but Walter Plunkett was also involved in Singing in the Rain, Annie Get Your Gun, Showboat, and Kiss Me Kate.
Yeah.
The lumberjack is it Punty Peas or Punty Pies? The brothers, Punty Peas. I think it's Punty Peas. Were dressed in bright colours, while the townsmen were limited to greys and browns, and I thought that was really clever. Especially with those new Technicolor techniques that they were able to put on the screen. Plunkett also requested that all of the actors playing the brothers were to dye their hair bright red in order to definitely link them together.
Yes, and to show that they were out of towners.
Yeah. And the brothers' bright colours help to distinguish the actors and make the most of that new.
And the only one whose red didn't take as well as the others was the one playing Frank.
Okay.
And I always remember that as well.
Bless him, he didn't have a biblical name.
No.
His hair wouldn't dye properly.
But he's the other, the actor. He's the other actor in Kiss Me Kate. So I always recognised his face anyway, that he plays a brother, Howard Keel, and then they play.
You are very committed to your MG musical films, aren't you?
I grew up on them.
Yeah, you know that, but you know them really well. Like I would have watched them like numerous times, but nowhere near as many. Like I don't know them anywhere near as much as you know your your musical films. Them, certainly the older ones,
like a lot.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Shall we move on? Do you have any memories?
Well, I've got some more fun facts just about it. So in 2006, the film was named one of the best USA musical films ever, and the American Film Institute, they sort of like put it into this Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And then BBC Radio 2, they voted it 3rd in the essential musicals, and then it is number 8 in the top MGN musicals of all time. And I think like I said, I've rewatched it recently, and it is great, even with the not being shot on location and the fact that there's cardboard settings, but it's that choreography is
Yeah.
just like
I mean,
fantastic.
It did win an Academy Award for musical scoring in a musical picture and was nominated for 4 other,
Yeah.
awards: Best Picture, Cinematography, Film Editing and Writing.
Well, there's so many amazing things that the director Stanley had done, like for that Lonesome Polecat, and I really love them. Like, for some strange reason, Seven Brides for Seven Brothers is another one that my mum loved, and costumes wise, but it reminds me of costumes because she always would have had, not always, but 9 out of 10 times whenever it was on, she was cutting out costumes.
Yeah.
And she would have been on the floor with her scissors and her patterns. And it's always that barn dance or Lonesome Polecat.
So she would have been like working on her costumes whilst watching MGM musicals.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
No, love it.
Love that.
And yeah, and I think a fact she did tell me about the dresses. The reason why they were made that way is for the dancing, is so that you can see the swish.
Yeah, they opened out and they were good for turns and stuff.
But yeah, Lonesome Polecat was actually done in one continuous take.
Okay.
Yeah.
It feels like that a wee bit for me. It was a wee bit of a dread.
Oh, I quite like that. And he, whenever he's doing the acts, but he was a professional ballet dancer. Yeah, and you can kind of tell
Nobody
that in
can
his
swing an axe as good as a professional ballet dancer, right?
And here's a fun fact: if all you cool people out there want to do this, if you play the barn raising dance sequence with Maroon 5's Moves Like Jagger, the dance moves match up.
I am so want to try that tonight.
Isn't that cool?
Where on earth did you pull that fact from? That's hilarious.
I know, isn't it?
So you get it all here, folks, don't you? Like,
so if you play the barn raising dance sequence with Maroon 5's Moves Like Jagger, the dance moves match up.
You're such a millennial, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Very good. Well,
go standing O's or connections.
Well, I have been in
You
production
have, and I've
of
seen
Seven
you
Brides for
in
Seven
it.
Brothers. But it was a very difficult time for me. I don't know. I think I might have mentioned it really briefly on a previous episode. Yeah, because I came to the project late.
Oh, yes, you did
yes.
mention this, yeah.
As I was saying at the beginning, it's hard to get 14 boys that can dance a treat. So they'd already cast the brothers when I came on board.
So you're your bride?
I thought you were a brother.
No, I was not a brother.
Were you just
I was
a
not
sitter?
a bride. In fact, just exactly, just a sitter.
Well,
I would have
watched
rather
that.
played one of the brides than played one of the sitters, to be quite honest with you. So I spent the whole time, on stage you're supposed to, show the sitters are supposed to show real hatred towards the brothers. But
you were. You didn't have to act.
Mine was, as the week went on, mine was growing more and more to be true reflection of how I felt. I was so jealous. I was like, I want to be wearing the colourful shirts and dancing with the brides, because the brothers got the brides, the sitters didn't.
Oh no.
And they also got the better dance breaks. But yeah, also it was the one time on stage I was the closest to vomiting.
Oh, why?
Yeah, because at one of the scenes, I can't remember, were we in a barn or a pub or something, but we were supposed to be eating grill.
Right.
But the props mistress thought it was a great idea for the grill to get the right colour and consistency, to use chocolate Weetabix.
Okay.
Now, have you ever tried cold chocolate Weetabix that has been mushed using water? Right. Okay. And I didn't know what it was until I put my first spoonful in, a dress rehearsal or something, and I swear to God that chocolate Weetabix was nearly over the band.
Oh, and
gross,
it's been
right?
Sitting there for a while, probably congealed as well.
It was congealed. It was cold. It was made with water. Even if it had been made with milk, we might have got away with it a wee bit better. Oh my goodness, honestly. But isn't it funny the things you remember from shows? Like, that is one of my biggest memory. Apart from how much fun it was, like doing the barn dance was so much fun. Like, what is it? 3 sevens, 7 4 21 people, like having to work on a big mat. Like, it was great crack and it was good fun. I remember that, but I remember my cold chocolate Weetabix made with water more.
That's so funny that you mentioned about being sick. Me and Caitlin, my sister, were talking about the time you were sick in her face.
Oh, it was really bad.
No, because she had a bad migraine, but we
oh
were
my
really
goodness.
discussing that this week.
It's the weirdest thing. If I get a migraine, I get like those funny, like aura-y, wiggly lines across your eyes. So if I know that's happening, all I need to do is take 2 paracetamol and I will be fine. I'll have a dull headache, but it's absolutely fine. You see, if I get those lights, those wiggly lines, and they would like last for about 20-25 minutes. If I don't get painkillers into me when that's happening and I miss that like window of time, it is horrendous. I will vomit. I will be sick. I will have to lie down in a like darkened room and like my head will thump for about 3 days. So unfortunately we were coming back from Downpatrick after a rehearsal, weren't we? And your sister was in the back seat and I was in the front seat, and I tried to roll the window down and look out the window, but the problem was with a speeding car, and let's be honest, my dad always speeded home, sped down that road home. It came back into the car and into the back seat. Thanks for sharing that.
Well, I wasn't going to share the whole story, but I was just saying.
Well, I feel I owe it to my listeners to explain what you're talking about. I suppose they need to be in on it, don't they? But yeah, so that was. Oh, and my one of my really good friends was playing one of the brothers. I did try and trip him up, but it didn't work.
No.
But he, in one of the scenes where the brothers were quite rough with each other because they were like lumberjack lads. They were rough, and one of the brothers had to slap my mate across the face, but the guy got my friend's ear and burst his eardrum, and that was like one of the first nights. Yeah. So, I mean, let's just say the singing was a wee bit off for the rest of the week.
Oh dear! Remember the time you slapped me across the face?
What? I had to. It was part of the play, all right? Don't be
what was it for?
Don't be throwing comments out like that.
But you did. You really slapped me.
People are going to come for me.
We came first.
People are going to come for me. Like I was directed to do so.
I'm not sure you were directed.
It just so happened you really pissed me off that day. I'm joking.
Well, I
can't actually remember what it was for though.
Crucible? We were doing the Crucible.
Yeah.
And it was for the festival.
Oh, we did it in the festival.
We came first.
Yeah, I can't remember things like that. I come first every other day. What am I talking about? I can't remember all my successes.
But even the adjudicator commented and said
how good the slap was.
Yeah, and that was some slap. And I was like, you are telling me. And both our mums were there.
Oh no.
No, I know.
I would say my mum will have given me a good slap too.
No, she said I had it coming.
Yes, Mum.
But I think they both went, oh,
that's my girl.
Well, it was okay. It was all right. We were actors.
Yeah. Any standing ovations? Let's move on quickly.
My standing ovations, I do love, as I said, Lonesome Polecat, but now that I'm thinking back, it's probably that memory. But the barn dance.
Yes, barn dance is without exception. But it's my diehard romantic in me that's coming out again. I actually think some of the like lovey-dovey songs in this are really beautiful, like much nicer than the romantic songs and most of the other like westerny shows. So I like the likes of Love Never Goes Away and Glad You Were Born and Wonderful Wonderful Day. They're really cute.
Yeah, they are cute.
I also love that song that Millie and Adam sing, but then Gideon comes in because he is absolutely head over heels in love with Alice.
That's right, yeah.
And it's like a trio. It is a trio. There's 3 of them. It's really lovely. I like it too. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, no, I know, and if it was about, or certainly if there was an Amjam production, I would definitely go and watch it because I enjoy it, and I think that it's fun.
Aaron, let's go get changed into our colourful checked shirts and we'll dance around the living room here as the Punty P brothers.
For the listeners at home, this is not the first time he's asked me to do this today.
Nope.
But I mean, you would need to go and dye your hair. You wouldn't.
Excuse me, I'm African Sunset.
I know, but
I would need to dye my hair. I'm bald.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Dye my eyebrows.
You have an Annie wig upstairs, though. That would do.
Oh, I stick that on.
Sort of.
That would be a wonderful, wonderful day, wouldn't it? And
Honestly,
then you
it's
can
gonna
then
be
sing "Glad That You Were Born," and we'll be like, "Yes, you are glad we were born."
okay, sure. One of these days we are gonna like do these things, and we're gonna be, fit
One
to
of
be
these
tagged.
days, we will do a 3-act musical.
I know.
I'm Bert.
We're gonna be.
You're
fit to-
what?
Bert.
You're Bert.
Okay,
Oh.
so remember I was talking to you about that email I got from that other guy who had, expressed an interest in
Yeah.
producing and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and the CV was really good. Yeah, I think we'll maybe give him a call. I'm just starting to get a wee bit fed up. Sick or not, I'm kind of a fed up with cheek.
Still waiting on that call though from UK tour, are you?
You gotta give him time, folks. We can't rush this.
That's okay.
I've also said, to be quite honest with you, I'm very busy at the moment.
Yeah.
If they want me, they're gonna have to, just reschedule a few wee things,
Okay.
just to fit in,
Yeah.
with my,
Yeah, not that you're demanding or anything, or
when you're this good.
yeah.
You
Okay.
can afford to throw your weight around.
I love that we're still holding on to hope here.
I know they are. They're so worried that they could lose me from this project.
You're so You're so
Anyway,
Well, here, are we going to come back next week?
It depends whether I'm in rehearsals or not, to be fair. I've got a week free next week. Actually, it would be quite good. I could get in and get the step in time. And the chim chim charade, I could get that wee section done. I'm a quick learner. Until next week then.
Alrighty. Bye.
Bye.